Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 11 Reunion Part 1. Let me tell you something, I don't even know where to begin because this first part aggravated me to no end. You see, I have the wine all out. I have my whole wine rack out because we're going to be pouring up this entire recap. So before we jump into it, I have to give a big shout out and thank you to my girl, Layla Joy Williams over at the fabulous IYLIA Wines. And she sent me a sampling of her amazing wines, and I am just beyond happy because you guys know the doll loves a good glass of wine. And this is an amazing white wine. This is the Moscatel Masibio. And look at the packaging. I just love it. I love it. It's very sexy. It's very sleek. You know that it's going to be good. This is going to set you in the mood, especially if you're eating a nice salmon and some veggies. Like, I'm just trying to create the whole picture for you. You get it? This is the IYLIA Chardonnay, and I love a good Chardonnay, so I'm very excited to pour a glass of this. This is going to be in my rotation, one of my absolute favorite white wines, and I love how all of IYLIA wines are all produced in the Valencia region of Spain. And what I'll be pouring up for today's recap is the fabulous Monastrell Rosé. Again, look at the packaging. It's very pretty. It's very sleek. It's very sexy. I love it. That's all the things that I am, okay? Let's pour it up. Yeah, we're doing a big pour. We're doing a very big pour. Cheers, y'all. Let's swish it around. Oh my gosh. This is it. This is the one. She's that girl. This bottle of rosé may very well be finished by the time this recap is over. I'm just saying. So again, thank you so much, Layla Joy Williams over at IYLIA Wines for this amazing sampling. Guys, this is the wine that you want to add to your wine rack. And as always, you guys already know that I have the link for you down in the description box so that you too can purchase your own bottles of IYLIA wine because mine are about to be gone, so I'm not sharing. And IYLIA Wines is Black owned, so you're going to be supporting a Black owned business while getting your drink on. So, with all that being said, let's just jump right on into this recap because we don't have a minute to spare. I'm not going to hold you. I had all my notes for you, all in order, everything typed out. But it's a new day. I've thought it over, and I really only want to talk about a few main points, okay? This reunion pissed me all the way off. The gaslighting, if you thought the gaslighting on Potomac was bad, this took the cake. I thought that all the looks as a collective were terrible. I don't know who Lisa Rinna thought she was channeling. She was giving very much Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove. If you're a 90s kid, then you guys remember that kids movie, but that's what she was giving. She looked terrible. Dorit, child, I know that dress is not 35,000 US American dollars. I know it's not. It was giving very much clearance rack with those fake pearls. Stop it. Garcelle, I don't know what that outfit was. So I said, girl, you're going to just drop the ball on both fronts. You didn't tell anybody off, and this outfit was very dated and just very, like, it just wasn't flattering on you. Kyle, I don't know what that hair and what that dress was doing, but girl, no. The only person at this reunion who got it right was Andy. Dorit and Rinna, y'all had me all the way effed up. Garcelle, I love you to pieces, but you dropped the ball. I was waiting for you to let the both of them have it, and you failed to do so. I'm at the point with you, Garcelle, where I don't know if this is the show for you, because if you're not going to step up and give us what we came to see, then, I mean, we don't really need you. I needed you to really let them have it. There's a time and a place for everything. I know that I'm usually the biggest proponent of ignoring people and paying people dust, but in this time, at this reunion, we needed to see you go off. And you let us down. You're meek and mild at the reunion. Then on last night's Watch What Happens Live, you're sitting in the chair talking about, and that's the last time Dorit's ever going to talk to me again like that. I said, oh, really, girl? Baby, don't talk to us about this a month later. The reunion's already been taped, filmed, aired. We're watching it right now. You're a day late and $1 short. We needed to see all that at the reunion, especially in this first part, and we didn't see it. So miss me with, well, she better not try me like that ever again. Girl, it's too late for all that. You had your chance, you missed it, you blew it. I was too through. Rinna and Dorit need to be off this show. Neither one of them have storylines. When you really think about it, Dorit and Rinna have both been coasting. Rinna's claim to fame on this show is stirring the pot every chance she gets, turning on her friends, and then turning around and running them off the show. And you can deny it all you want to, but the racism and the microaggressions jumped out. It is evident that they look down on Garcelle and they don't respect her or see her as their equal. I'll be damned if Dorit, Kemsley, or Lisa Rinna yells at me or tries to curse me out. It will be a cold day in hell before that happens. I can assure you that. Crystal, you sitting at the end of the couch, you tried it. I don't know what you thought you were doing, saying that Garcelle does throw jabs and doesn't say things to people's faces, talking about, well, yeah, you know, when you made that jab about me, about not knowing who I was, girl, none of us knew who you were. And quiet as it's kept, people only know your husband because he's deep in the industry. The regular person does not know who Rob Minkoff is, and that's cool. It is what it is. Everybody's not going to be front and center and an A-list star. And I was annoyed that Garcelle did not call you out and just say, but Crystal, you're the one who started the whole conversation about not knowing who Sutton was. So it's okay for you to say how you don't know who Sutton is, but when Garcelle says, well, I didn't know who Crystal was, that's a problem. And in the grand scheme of things, who are any of us? Because we are all going to meet our maker one day, and when that day happens, the world is still going to turn, and the traffic is still going to be backed up, and we're only going to be a footnote. So I don't know why you have this big ego like somebody cares that you don't know who Sutton was. I didn't know who any of y'all were except for Garcelle and Rinna and Denise Richards, quiet as it's kept, loud as it is. You really thought you had something, didn't you? You were all smug, looking at Garcelle saying, well, you know, you did make that jab about me. Girl, sit your narrow behind down. You didn't have anything else to say during this reunion, which proved how boring and how useless you really were this season. You didn't add anything. You came through with a cute look or two and a $95,000 Birkin, and that's about it. You don't bring much to this franchise. And you want to be fake mad at Garcelle for making that comment, which is true. But y'all were wrong to talk about Sutton knowing that Garcelle's friends with her. Don't talk about my friends in front of me. And Dorit, let me go back to you. When you brought up Garcelle taking incessant jabs at you, and you brought up that whole situation about Garcelle not defending Sutton at Crystal's dinner party. You weren't even there. And all the things that you all have said about each other in your confessionals, how come you guys don't call each other two-faced or say that it's a jab or say that it's passive aggression? But when Garcelle makes a remark in her confessionals, it's a problem. You were sitting up there calling Erika's stories unbelievable and saying that they sound wild. That's not to Erika's face. So how come that's okay? But when Garcelle does it, y'all take issue with it. Like, make it make sense. And you want to discuss Garcelle being passive-aggressive this whole reunion. Well, let's talk about how all of you guys have been passive-aggressive this season and the seasons before. Because Kyle was passive-aggressive, not addressing Garcelle about the check not being sent to the children's charity last year. Remember that? Kyle waited till the reunion to address Garcelle about that, make her look bad like she was the broke black girl on the show. Because a real friend would have called her on the phone and said, hey girl, I don't know if you meant to do that, but sis, we never got your check for the children's hospital. But no, she stewed on it and waited for 6 months and then finally told Garcelle, we never got your check, trying to make Garcelle look crazy. That's passive-aggressive right there. That was passive-aggressive of Kyle to wait until the reunion to address Sutton about her almost burning the house down. But that's okay. You guys can laugh about that. We see earlier in this episode that Rinna and Erika were talking, and Erika revealed that Rinna told her that everybody had turned on her. That's passive-aggressive right there too. Because why wouldn't Rinna tell everybody to their faces what she was going and telling Erika? You guys even said, you specifically told Garcelle that you wish that she was more direct with you. She's more direct with you, and now you're taking offense and saying that it's incessant jabs and it's passive-aggressive. And then you had the nerve to say that she was bullying you. And I was so happy when Andy pointed out how you were getting ripped a new asshole for saying the word bullying regarding a black woman. Because there's a stereotype that black women are angry and nasty and it's combative. And you knew what you were doing when you used that word. And then you sat up there trying to play dumb, like, that wasn't my intention. That's not what I meant, Andy. Don't get an attitude with Andy, sis. You said bullying, so own up to it and take it on the chin. And the same way that you want an apology when you feel like you've been slighted and done wrong, it took a lot out of you to apologize to Garcelle for using the word bully about her. Now, while Garcelle did disappoint me with being too quiet and being too passive, in my opinion, I was happy that she pressed Dorit about an apology. She said, Dorit, I'm gonna need an apology for using the word bully because I am not a bully and you know it. And then when Dorit got mad and said, I'm trying to address it, Garcelle, but you're not letting me finish. I said, the poorest conversationalist on this cast has the nerve to complain about somebody not letting her get a chance to speak. Funny. So Dorit's talking in circles about how Garcelle was just being passively provocative in her opinion and how she felt like Garcelle was trying to remain relevant. I was happy when Garcelle checked your ass, like, listen here, I have never had to try and be relevant. Garcelle is on one of the hottest daytime talk shows right now. So you sound absolutely crazy to say that she's trying to remain relevant. And who are you again, Dorit? I'll wait. Nobody knew anything of you before this show. You were a nobody. All right, let's get that clear. Racism really shows its ugly head time and time again because you can be the most accomplished black person and there will always be an ignorant racist jackass trying to tear you down and act like your accomplishments don't mean anything. And that's exactly what Dorit was trying to do, trying to act like Garcelle's not relevant. And that was passive aggressive right there to say that. But that's okay when the white woman is passive aggressive and makes jab, that's fine. But when the black woman is direct and says, hey girl, can you not do X, Y, and Z? Then it's a problem. Got it. And Dorit, for somebody who has no storyline, How is Garcelle trying to be relevant? I'll wait. Dorit and Garcelle keep going back and forth. And then Garcelle says, first you say I don't talk enough. Now I talk too much. It's like I can't win with you. Like, what is it? Then Garcelle says, now you call me a bully, but I'm not going to bring that back up again because you did apologize. So Rinna's being a smartass, and she's like, oh, you're not going to bring it up again? Like, oh, how nice of you. Like, wow, like, that's great. Like, good for you, Garcelle. Garcelle says, Rinna, shut up. Like, I'll get to you in a minute, but right now it's between me and Dorit. And again, Rinna cannot help herself. She is always trying to insert herself in somebody else's drama for a storyline. But again, I digress. Then Dorit starts screaming, let me finish, Garcelle. I said right then and there, they would have had to stop taping at that reunion because I promise you, I don't know if my flask of tequila would have been thrown across the room, but something would have happened. Don't you ever yell at me, especially after you called me a bully and tried to paint me out as this awful, angry stereotype. Dorit was trying to assert dominance, that she is the white woman and Garcelle is the black woman who needs to be put in her place. No, ma'am. That was completely out of line for her to yell at Garcelle. Let me just be really clear. But when I address racism or I talk about my own experiences with colorism and racism, this is not an open-ended debate. I'm not debating with you about experiences that I've lived through, okay? Like, just so we're perfectly clear. Because I had a few trolls come on one of the Beverly Hills recaps that I did a few weeks ago, and they were upset with me for calling the racism out, okay? And I want you to know, if you think that you're going to sit there and disrespect me in my own comments on my page, and you're going to use all these slurs and craziness, you have another thought coming, all right? So I just want to make it clear. Keep it real cute, all right? Don't get in these comments talking crazy and trying to tell me about my own lived experiences as a black woman. And for Garcelle to not go off on Dorit in that moment, the way she should have unleashed on Dorit, like, I just was really confused and annoyed at how Garcelle just sat there. It would not have been okay, Dorit, just keep going. It wouldn't have been that. Y'all really don't understand. I would have gotten so crazy. I don't care what anybody would have thought of me in that moment. I can assure you that. One thing you will not do is sit there and disrespect me. We can disagree, all right? But the minute you sit up there and you start screaming at me, absolutely not. Dorit is out of order. She's disrespectful. She's racist. She's annoying. She's a loser. She's a liar. She's a fraud with that phony accent. Sitting up there with all these money problems and still trying to walk around like she has all these millions. Girl, stop. So now Dorit tries to change gears and says, you know what, Garcelle? The ball's in your court. I'd actually like to move on because I don't have a problem with you. Andy goes on to ask Garcelle if she likes Dorit. Garcelle says, I don't dislike her. They all make a joke that that's not really a compliment to say that you don't dislike somebody. And then Garcelle says, yeah, I'd like to move on too. Garcelle is a lot nicer than me because I would be letting Andy and Dorit know, Dorit, this is our last conversation. I have nothing else to say to you from here on out. When we both come back for next season, I got nothing for you. Don't talk to me. I won't talk to you. Okay? We'll be two ships passing in the night. Like, that's all I'm going to have for you. I would have let Dorit know I'm giving you my entire ass to kiss because there is no coming back from you screaming and yelling at me and trying to make me look like I'm crazy and then think that I'm going to let the past be in the past. No. A mess. I was just shaking my head. I was just getting so livid watching Dorit try to steamroll Garcelle. And Garcelle was too calm, too passive for my taste. I wasn't feeling it. That was the time to unleash, go crazy. You are well within your right. All the viewers are on your side. So girl, what are you doing? You thought that Dorit versus Garcelle was bad. Now it's Rinna and Garcelle. Andy brings up where Rinna and Garcelle stand now. Rinna starts off the conversation with her BS, talking about how Garcelle has certain expectations of her. Yes, girl, it's called expectations of somebody being a decent human being. That's not too much to ask. So now the whole sauce debacle gets brought up, and Garcelle says, I mean, that was a really lovely gesture, but I just don't trust it. So now Erika decides that she's going to take Andy's spot as being the host, and she starts asking Garcelle questions. She's like, so should Rinna stop reaching out to you and trying to be nice because you don't trust her? And at a certain point, Rinna's going to stop, reaching out to you altogether because, it's like you're punishing her about the whole Denise situation. Is that what you're doing, Garcelle? Are you still mad about the whole Denise stuff from last year? I said, girl, when did you become Andy? Andy's the one who asked the questions on this reunion, not you. Erika wanted a moment so bad, and I said, it's so funny how Erika wants to be all love and light, but meanwhile back at the ranch, you've been nasty to Sutton all season long. You talking about you won't accept her apology, you never want to talk to Sutton again, but now you sitting up here riding Garcelle about Garcelle not wanting to talk to Rinna ever again. Make it make sense. The double standards and the hypocrisy on this cast is absolute craziness to me. Garcelle says, look, I'm over the whole Denise situation from last year. Denise is a grown woman. She can fight her own battles. So now Rinna says, Garcelle, when are you going to let the whole Denise situation go? If Garcelle just said to Erika, I've let it go, Denise can fight her own battles, why are you going to ask the same question when she already answered the damn question? And then you're trying to be a smart ass saying, thank you, Jesus, she finally let it go, like hallelujah. Girl, shut up. All the evil stuff that you've done season after season after season, I'd be bringing it up every single time I saw you. Garcelle hasn't gone hard enough on you. She only brought up the whole Denise situation one time at Crystal's Chinese New Year's dinner party. So please tell me how that's harping on the whole Denise situation when it was only brought up one time. So now Andy goes on to ask Garcelle, what was it that she was expecting from Rinna throughout the season that Rinna didn't give her? Garcelle says, I'll give you a clear example. When we were at Lisa Rinna's lip kit launch party, when Dorit started with me, I was expecting for Rinna to jump in and have my back and defend me, like just something, like, anything to show that she's a friend. So Rinna jumps in and says, well, I agreed with what Dorit was saying, like you were being nasty and passive aggressive. So if I had jumped in, I wouldn't have been on your side. I said, if that is not peak Karen behavior, Rinna went full-blown Karen from this point on. That was so evil of her to say. Then Garcelle says that somebody close to her let her know that Rinna was talking behind her back and said that Garcelle should have never brought race into this show, and that's not what this show is all about. So Rinna is sitting there like, oh, like, what? Oh my gosh, like, excuse me. Dorit's sitting there looking dumb. Kyle's like, you know how Kyle is. I can't stand her. Erika's like, wow, like, Andy's looking like, like, ooh, like a mess. And so Garcelle says, yeah, Rinna, that's what I was told, that you said that this is not that kind of show and that we should not be discussing race. It was clear that Rinna did say those things. Their actions show that they are uncomfortable discussing race. Their actions show that they treat Garcelle differently because she is black. The way they showed their asses at her dinner party. You can eat caviar and escargot, but eating Haitian food is a problem? The microaggressions. Dorit calling Garcelle a bully all season long after she had told Garcelle that she wanted Garcelle to be more upfront. So Rinna's unraveling at the seams because she's been caught, and she keeps harping on how Garcelle's been really shitty to her and asking Garcelle repeatedly why Garcelle does not like her. Garcelle says, Rinna, I don't trust you. That's the long and the short of it. So now Rinna really tries to deflect even more by bringing up when Garcelle was on Watch What Happens Live a few months ago, and Garcelle was saying that Denise would actually want to come back, but somebody on that cast would have to leave. And then Andy went on to say, do the initials stand for LR? And then Garcelle starts laughing and doesn't say Lisa Rinna's name directly. So Rinna's like, yeah, and that appearance that you made on Watch What Happens Live, you were trying to get me fired off the show. I said, those words never came out of Garcelle's mouth. Garcelle said Denise would definitely be interested in coming back onto the show, but somebody would have to leave. Andy was the one who implied Lisa Rinna's name by saying her initials. Garcelle didn't say anybody's name or initials. I said, is anything to deflect from the points being made and trying to make Garcelle look like she's the bad guy, like she's the villain, and she's the one starting problems when it's her, Erika, Kyle, and Dorit starting all the mess on this show. Now Rinna fixes her botched lips to say that that race insinuation that Garcelle threw out shows her exactly who Garcelle is. Rinna, I'm asking you right now, if you have little kids in your vicinity, this is your time to lower the volume, send them out the room, because this is where I start to use some language that might not be suitable for everybody, okay? I'm gonna give you a nice disclaimer. Rinna, you must have lost your mind. For you of all people to say that Garcelle showed you exactly who she is, you are one of the most disgusting people across all the franchises. I haven't forgotten how you did Yolanda. I haven't forgotten how you did Vanderpump. And of course, Denise Richards. You are an evil, soulless individual who will do anything to stay relevant and get a check. And you know what really pissed me off? When Garcelle said, look, I can say whatever I want. And then Dorit and Rinna both clapped back saying, we can say whatever we want to, Garcelle. So then why are we even having these conversations? If everybody can say whatever they want, then what are y'all here for? Like, why are y'all mad at Garcelle? Because y'all want it to be this uneven exchange where y'all can say and do whatever y'all want, but Garcelle has to shut up, sit there, and just be obedient. So now Rinna keeps going on and on about how she can't believe that Garcelle would say that because it's not true, and how she wants an apology for Garcelle to even make an accusation like that. I said, Garcelle, I will jump through this TV and I will choke you clean out if you apologize to Rinna. I swear to you, I will. I mean, y'all, I was so close to turning this TV off and saying, hey guys, I love y'all, but I think that this is the end of the road for us and I will no longer be reviewing the 4 parts of this reunion. Like, that's how close I was to not doing this recap. It took everything in me to turn this camera on because I was just too through. So now Rinna changes her tune and says, Garcelle, I actually like you. And I was really happy when you came on the show. She goes on to say how Garcelle should have asked her, and she says that she would have told Garcelle the truth. No, she would not have. And Garcelle, you're a fool if you believe that Rinna would have told you the truth had you asked her if she had made that statement. That sounds just like something that Rinna and all of them would have said. Andy goes on to ask them both, where do they go from here? Rinna says, I would very much like to move on. Then Rinna brings up how her husband, Harry Hamlin, even notices that Garcelle looks unhappy. I said, girl, you just lying through your teeth. He did not say anything of the sort. Harry's never even home. So when did he tell you that Garcelle looks unhappy? I'll wait. Did Harry mention how Denise didn't look happy when you launched that campaign to smear her name last season and ran her off the show? Huh? Did he mention how Kim Richards didn't look happy when y'all were in Amsterdam together? Did he mention how Lisa Vanderpump didn't look happy when y'all did her wrong in season 9? But he mentioned Garcelle. Girl, stop. Then Dorit jumps in talking about, yeah, Garcelle, it looks like you're checked out most of the time. I said, girl, if you don't shut up, you know who looks checked out majority of the time? Kathy Hilton. That's somebody who looks like she does not want to be there. She just showed up to get a cute check and be on TV, but she's not really interested in any of y'all. Garcelle looks engaged most of the time, and if she's not engaged, she's annoyed because y'all are gaslighting the hell out of her and y'all are racist. Then Crystal chimes in talking about, yeah, Garcelle, I think that Rinna really wants to mend it with you. I said, baby, you just got here in this group. Like, you should have nothing to say. And that stunt that you pulled earlier on in the reunion, girl, just sit there. So Rinna goes over to sit next to Garcelle, and she's like, I know that you don't trust me or like me, but just give me a chance. Like, let's get over this. Let's just stop all this fighting. Life is short, and I really love you, Garcelle. If I didn't care about you, I would have just said, you know what, F it. But you make me mad at times, and you drive me crazy, but I just love you to pieces. So they're hugging each other. I would have told Rinna, girl, don't touch me. Don't come near me. I would have said, Andy, tell her to back up. All right? Back up. Give me 50 feet. I don't want you coming anywhere near me. I would have given Rinna my ass to kiss and a middle finger. Rinna is a two-faced snake. She is not a friend to anybody but herself. That was chaotic. That was borderline demonic because you were just there 5 minutes ago screaming at Garcelle, calling her everything but a child of God, saying that she had shitty character, gaslighting the hell out of her, but now it's I love you to death, Garcelle. Let's just stop all this fighting because life is short and I love you. It's real funny because Erika should have been put on the chopping block for her nasty behavior. Garcelle has not raised her voice. She has not cursed anybody out. Yet Dorit and Rinna were treating her like she was the worst person in the world. But Erika has gotten to skate by scot-free all 20 episodes, bullying people, threatening people, but y'all didn't say a damn thing about that. I really wanted to discuss those main parts of the reunion because that's what really just angered me. And I know that you guys wanted my thoughts on that. This was a very jam-packed part 1. I have to say, they definitely did not disappoint when it came to the drama and the nonsense. I was nervous that this first part was going to be kind of slow and boring, but it was actually, you know, right out the gate full of mess. I thought that Erika's portion was good. I thought that Andy's questions were really good. He did not hold back. I can't wait to see when he really gets into it, though, and then Erika gets mad at him. But I don't understand this new persona that Erika's trying to go for, this new voice change. I was like, girl, like, what is this? Like, you sound stupid. Her trying to act like she's going to be so honest and, you know, please take pity on me. Absolutely not. You are nobody's victim, all right? You make over $600,000 on this show. You have a brand new $92,000 Range Rover in your driveway, okay? And you are renting a $10,000 a month house in West Hollywood. So nobody is going to be crying for you, Argentina. So just stop it right now. I thought Sutton's portion was boring. I'm not even going to hold you. There was nothing noteworthy to talk about. And I'm not somebody who's going to force commentary and bore you guys to death. So I was like, yeah, this was nothing worth discussing. Sutton, really nice shoes, you know, like great gowns, beautiful gowns, but that's all I had for you. I do think that Sutton should have been sitting closer to Andy because she was really the center of a lot of the drama with Erika. Kathy Hilton coming out. Honestly, they could have brought Kathy out for next week, part 2, because she wasn't needed at the end of this. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. Garcelle, like I said earlier, I mean, love you to death, but you let me and 90% of the viewers down. We were really hoping to see you get crazy and unleash and really let them have it. And I feel like you let Dorit and Rinna off way too easy. I mean, I would have had Dorit and Rinna sobbing. And the fact that they came out unscathed, like, I just wasn't here for it. Garcelle, if you are going to stay on for next season, we need to see more. Because this ain't it. Garcelle, I am so serious. Call me. Hop in my DMs, okay? Please, because I can give you some reads. I have all my notes. I mean, I take very accurate notes every single episode. I could mail them to you so that you could use, and you could bring them with you and read them point by point by point. Like, no, girl, because you said this that day, and then you said this in this episode. Like, I could really help you out, girl. Give me a call, honey, because Rinna and Dorit should have been the ones crying, and they should have been the ones apologizing and groveling and begging for your forgiveness. Guys, we have 3 more parts to get through, and I'm like, Lord have mercy, Jesus. But some way, somehow, we're going to get through this together. But y'all, that was my recap. I hope you all enjoyed it. And again, a big thank you to my girl, Layla Joy Williams, for the fabulous IYLIA wines. And you guys already know what to do. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.